African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of September 26, 2025. From September 20th to 26th, the armed forces of the Russian Federation delivered a massive and 6 group strikes with precision weapons and strike unmanned aerial vehicles, resulting in damage to enterprises of the Ukrainian military-industrial complex, transport and energy infrastructure facilities used in the interests of the armed forces of Ukraine, ammunition depots, military airfield infrastructure, assembly, storage and launch sites of long-range unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations, special operations forces, nationalists, and foreign mercenaries. During the week, units of the North Troop Group advanced deep into the enemy's defense in the Sumy region and liberated the settlement of Unikovka in the Sumy region. Damage inflicted on personnel and equipment of 5 mechanized, motorized infantry, ranger, airborne assault brigades, 2 assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade. In the Kharkiv direction, damage was inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized, motorized infantry brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine and 2 territorial defense brigades. Over the week, in the area of responsibility of the North Troop Group, enemy losses amounted to up to 1,250 servicemen, 3 tanks, 4 armored combat vehicles, 62 cars, and 15 field artillery guns, 9 electronic warfare and counter-battery stations, 29 ammunition and material supply depots were destroyed. Units of the West Troop Group occupied more advantageous lines and positions. Over the week, Russian assault units captured 2,519 buildings in the settlement of Kirovsk, Donetsk People's Republic. Damage inflicted on formations of 4 mechanized, 2 assault, airmobile, airborne assault brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade. The enemy lost more than 1,605 servicemen, 10 armored combat vehicles, 108 cars, and 18 field artillery guns. 59 electronic warfare and counter-battery stations, as well as 39 ammunition and material supply depots, were destroyed. Units of the South Troop Group, as a result of active and decisive actions, liberated the settlement of Pereazne in the Donetsk People's Republic. Over the week, an area of 25.5 square kilometers south of the Kleban BYK reservoir was cleared of neo-Nazis. Damage inflicted on personnel and equipment of 7 mechanized, motorized infantry, airmobile, assault, mountain assault brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, 2 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard brigade. Over the week, losses of Ukrainian armed formations in this direction amounted to more than 1,540 servicemen, 3 tanks, 23 armored combat vehicles, 74 cars, 26 field artillery guns. Destroyed were 13 electronic warfare and counter-battery stations, 36 ammunition, fuel, and material supply depots. Units of the Center Troop Group continued active offensive operations in the territory of the Donetsk People's Republic and Dnipropetrovsk region. Damage was inflicted on formations of 4 mechanized, tank, 3 airborne assault, 2 ranger, airmobile, assault, airborne brigades, 3 assault regiments of the armed forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine brigades, 3 territorial defense brigades, and 2 National Guard brigades. The enemy lost up to 3,675 servicemen, 3 tanks, 14 armored combat vehicles, 38 cars, and 12 artillery guns. Over the past week, units of the East Troop Group advanced deep into the enemy's defense. They liberated the settlements of Berezov and Kalinivsk in the Dnipropetrovsk region. Damage inflicted on personnel and equipment of 3 mechanized, assault brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, 2 territorial defense brigades, a Marine brigade, and a National Guard brigade. Enemy losses in this direction amounted to more than 2,135 servicemen, 2 tanks, 17 armored combat vehicles, 97 cars, and 11 field artillery guns. 6 electronic warfare stations and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Dnipro Troop Group inflicted damage on formations of 3 mechanized mountain assault brigades, 3 coastal defense brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade. The enemy lost up to 380 servicemen, 3 armored combat vehicles, 40 cars, and 4 artillery guns. Destroyed were 25 electronic warfare stations, 11 ammunition, fuel, and material supply depots. By forces of the Black Sea Fleet in the Black Sea area and units of the Dnipro Troop Group, 23 unmanned boats and 5 enemy boats were destroyed. Over the week, air defense means shot down 24 guided aerial bombs, 5 HIMARS multiple launch rocket system rockets of U.S. production, and 1724 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 667 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 86,769 unmanned aerial vehicles, 631 surface-to-air missile systems, 25,254 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,592 multiple launch rocket system vehicles, 29,956 field artillery guns and mortars, 42,665 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.